Hi everyone. This is a video about phrases and clauses. I just want to kind of walk you through the main ideas about both of these topics. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me for more specific information or if you're stuck, and I'm happy to work through things with you. We're just going to start with some definitions, some things that you need to know to be really successful with our grammar study. The first term that you're going to hear me use today is subject. The subject is the noun the sentence is about. So that person, place, thing, or idea, that's the focus of our sentence. Predicate is the thing or things that that subject is doing. So remember, if it's doing something, it's got to have a verb as part of that predicate. You'll also hear me talking today about clauses. A clause is a group of words that has both a subject and a predicate. And you'll also hear me talking about phrases. A phrase is a group of words without a subject or a predicate. It acts as a single part of speech. So a phrase is like a really small unit of information in grammar. A clause is a little more complicated. Let's start with types of clauses. This should be a review. It's something that you've learned before, but we're just going to go over it again because it might be something you have to dig out of your memory a little bit. There are two main types of clauses, the independent clause and the dependent clause. An independent clause is a group of words with a subject and a predicate that can stand alone as a sentence. It's independent. And a great example is the dog jumped. So we've got our subject and our predicate, and it's a complete thought. Now, a dependent clause is a group of words that has a subject or a predicate, but it can't stand alone in a sentence, typically because it has a subordinating conjunction or an awubis word that changes its function. For instance, although the dog jumped. Notice how by adding that word although, which is a subordinating conjunction, it's made our independent clause dependent. Now it can't stand by itself. It's not a complete thought. We need more information to make it work as a sentence. Now, when we think about types of phrases, there are lots of different types of phrases because phrases act like a part of speech. So they can be lots of different parts of speech. We can have noun phrases, verb phrases, adjective phrases, adverb phrases, and prepositional phrases. Really, what that means is just a phrase is a group of two or more words that function as a part of speech in the sentence. Today, we're going to focus on two of these. We're going to focus in on prepositional phrases and noun phrases called appositive phrases. Prepositional phrases are a group of words without a subject or a predicate that start with a preposition and end with a noun. Okay, so for example, over the fence. It's telling us a where about something that's happening, but it doesn't have a subject, it doesn't have a predicate, it can't stand alone. And similarly, an appositive phrase, which is a type of noun phrase, is a phrase that gives more information about that noun in the sentence. Now, it could be the subject, or it could just be another noun in the sentence. But here's my example. My dog, Bruno. Bruno's telling me more about the dog. Maybe which one it is, maybe I have more than one dog, maybe I'm like Mrs. Lovick and I have lots of dogs, so I need to name the one that I'm talking about. Or maybe I just want to give people more information about my dog. But an appositive is used that way. There are lots of other types of phrases, but we're just going to start with these two and practice with them this week. Now, remember, phrases cannot stand alone in the sentence. They need to be connected to an independent clause. So I took my independent clause from the previous example and I added in my phrases. And here's what I get. My dog, Bruno, jumped over the fence. Notice how I added in those phrases to give me more information in my independent clause. Now, we can also use dependent clauses to add information to a sentence, but they need to be attached to an independent clause to make the sentence complete. For example, a dependent clause might be, when he was mad. Again, notice there's a subject, he, and a predicate, was mad, but it's not a complete thought all by itself. But if I add it on to my previous independent clause, I can make a complete thought. So at the bottom here, you can see my example. My dog, Bruno, jumped over the fence when he was mad. Now we've created one big sentence using both an independent and a dependent clause, and lots of phrases too. Now, in our notes, there are some links to videos for Khan Academy. There's also Schoolhouse Rock, so lots of fun information that can help you to understand phrases and clauses better. But I'm also opening up to you some Study Island practice. Now, that's completely optional. You're not required to do it, but I would encourage you, if you're stuck, to go there. Be sure when you log in that you're using the login for schools, even though we're at home, and that you use the username and password that are assigned to you. And I've put information on the screen for you so that you can remember how to get in there. Again, it's optional, but it's a great practice, and if you're stuck, I think it will really help you to do better as you work with phrases and clauses. As always, though, I'm available by email. Please shoot me a message and let me know what you're stuck on, and I will see how I can help. Thanks, guys.